Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm having a horrible hair day, so hat day it is. Um, in this video, I'm going to discuss a sensitive topic. Um, Sensitive in the fact that people feel a way about the situation. So people feel a way about accepting that their kids have ADHD, and that's completely normal. I get it. I was the same way. My son is 9, and last year he was diagnosed with ADHD, and it was hard for me to accept and a little difficult for me to adjust. So we'll start from the beginning. When I first had my son, I started working at a daycare, and he was in the room with me. One thing that I noticed is that my son was extremely advanced. He started talking very early, walking at 8 months. No joke. I wish I could find a clip. He literally was walking at 8 months. Um, my daughter did too. She started walking at 8 months and 2 weeks. But he was just super duper advanced. Like, picked up real quick on everything. So I always knew that he was a very intelligent young man. I stopped working at that daycare and I put him in a different daycare. He was there from like the age of, I want to say 15 months until he turned 3. And they kicked my baby out the daycare, y'all. My feelings was so hurt. So when he turned 3, he moved to another classroom at the daycare. The teacher that was his teacher from the beginning, like every time he moved into a new room, she moved with him. She quit. And they would have random people in there every day, and that's when his behavior changed. Well, I went to college for early childhood education, so I know that structure is key for kids at that age, and interruption like that can cause them to misbehave. All of a sudden, I've been with you all this time, and now you're not here no more, and it's different people coming in and out. So they would call me a lot to come up to the daycare, like, and they would just tell me that he refuses to follow directions. And I'm like, he's 3. Make him do whatever you want him to do. Like, that's my mindset. Because he's a kid and you're an adult. But the difference is, I'm the mom. So, of course, he has a different level of respect for me. And he know I'm not playing. And it's certain things that I can take away that they can't. You know, it's certain things that I can do. I can cuss you out. I can whoop you. They can't do that. So that fear isn't there to make him do what you're telling him to do. So I decided to remove him. No matter of fact, they kicked him out. He couldn't come back. And that was earth shattering for me because I had just started a new job. I'm trying to get on my feet. So that was it was hard. And I felt guilty. I felt like I'm not spending enough time with him. And that's why he's misbehaving, as well as, you know, the school, well, the daycare and the teacher and stuff leaving. So, what else happened? So that was when he was 3. What did we do with him? Oh, then I put him with the home daycare provider. And he would have his days, and that was okay because all kids do, just like adults. We have our days and our moments where we just don't feel like being bothered. So we would get phone calls every now and again, but nothing too major. When he was 4, excuse me, his dad deployed. Well, I'm lying. His dad didn't deploy. His dad went into basic training, so he was away for 9 months. So I contributed the misbehaving to that as well. Like, I'm used to seeing this person every day. Now I don't see them at all. So then it was time for him to start kindergarten. It was a disaster, y'all. The school just wasn't a good school. It wasn't a good fit. They were literally calling me every day. They were putting him in ISS. If y'all don't know what that is in-school suspension daily. And let me tell you, my son is not a ghetto kid. He's not the kid that's just running around yelling, screaming, throwing temper tantrums. That's not him. But he was mocking the behavior of the other kids there. They had another young man who would go under the tables and just cry for no reason. Well, to me, I don't know the reason. And then the teacher told me that he was doing that. And I'm like, what? That's not my child. He doesn't do that at home, and he's never done that anywhere else. So I'm like, let me come up here and let me observe him. When I went to the school and I did the observation, I noticed that the classroom wasn't set up for kindergarten students. It was like they had really big tables, really big chairs. It was set up for like big kids. Then it was like 20 something kids, this one teacher. It was just overpopulated. To me, I didn't see the structure. So I knew that he wouldn't go back there the following year, but I did want him to finish out the school year. And they had called me again, and I really don't remember what it was that he did. But whatever it was at that moment, I'm like, he's not coming back here. Withdraw him from the school. He's not coming back here. So I had no other choice with the homeschool. Little old me homeschooled kindergarten. So he probably was in kindergarten at that school for a month before I withdrew him. And homeschooling was difficult, not like the work or anything, just difficult for me because I was still working a 40-hour job, and my shift was 3:30 to midnight. So to get up with him, and you had to do certain stuff, like they had to still have gym and art and all of that. So I had to take him to the park, but like during regular daytime hours where normal people would be asleep, I had to be up doing activities and stuff. I had to take him to get tested to make sure he was on task, what we were doing at home, and that was all cool. He passed, and he passed on to the first grade, and it was a sigh of relief for me. I was extremely proud of myself and my son for being able to overcome that. Like, it was hard, y'all. I'm telling you, I was so freaking tired. Like, tired is an understatement. But anyway, we got through it. So, what did he do in the summer? I think he was just with my mom during the summer. And then I got excited, like, okay, here comes first grade. It's going to be amazing. He understands structure. He knows how to interact with other people. Like, he's a social butterfly, so that's not an issue. I want to say we put him in, like, baseball that year so that he would get that interaction with other kids and stuff. But first grade was the same way as kindergarten. He was not getting good grades to what I felt like were good grades. Like, I want to say the school he was at, they would get satisfactory, unsatisfactory, excellent. And he was coming home with satisfactory. And my child, when I tell y'all, that boy is so bright. He is such an intelligent boy. So I know satisfactory is not him. Like, what? But I rode with it like, okay. But his teachers was calling a lot, just saying that he was a distraction and wasn't following directions. And that hurt my feelings. Like, what is going on? I discipline him. Like, I believe in butt whoopings, and I'm sorry for anybody that comes watch this video and is appalled by that. But yeah, I whoop ass, and I know to take things away. Like, he loves the game, he loves computers, tablets, all that. I would take those things away. And then he would behave for a day or two, and then it would go right back. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I used to pray. I would pray with him in the morning before he caught the bus. And I would pray throughout the day, like, Lord, I hope my son is having a good day. I ask that you keep him focused and guided, and, keep a covering over him to make sure that he's okay. And I believe in the Lord. But that did test my faith because he still was not behaving. And I was at my wit's end. Like, what else can I do? I discipline. I take things away. I have conversations. I let him know why it's important to me and why it's important to respect others and your like, I just didn't understand why he could not behave. Like, I felt like I was a bad mother. I felt like I was not doing something right. Excuse me. And that put a lot of stress on me. Like, a lot, because I feel like I'm an excellent mother and my kids don't want for anything. Like, anything in this world they ask for, they desire, they get, because I have good kids. But so that's another reason, like, why you don't, it's like, it's not like you're hungry or you're seeing things that you ain't got no business seeing, or hearing things you ain't got no business hearing, or people are abusive, or we live in a bad neighborhood, or none of that. None of the stresses that some kids really do go through and cause them to act out, those stresses aren't in my home, thank the Lord. So again, it was mind boggling. Like, why can't my child behave? So we moved, we bought a house. I got pregnant, we bought a house. I tried to keep my son at the school he was at, but they found out I moved. So literally on my son's birthday, November the 1st, I was going to his school to bring him cupcakes, and they told me that he could not return to school because we were out of the district. And my world was shattered because I'm already pregnant and getting ready to have a new baby in January. We just moved into this house. Those are major adjustments for a kid, let alone an adult. Like, I was struggling with it. So just imagine a kid going from a neighborhood where he had friends and all of that and happened to move. And now the one stable thing that he had was school is being taken away. Like, my world, I'm telling y'all, I was just distraught about it. But I put my big girl panties on. I had a conversation with my son. I told him, well, his teacher told him that that day would be his last day. And that just, I'm telling y'all. So I had to go register him at another school. We did that. And actually, after I sat down and I thought about it and I talked to Jamie when he got home, like, okay, it's a fresh start. New people, new things, new everything. You know, this is the time to make a good impression. He was getting in trouble. They were calling me every day. And one day his teacher called and asked me, like, did he behave like this at his last school? And I lied. And I was like, no, it must just be, you know, because it's something new and different. So that was in November, before I had Jacoby? I had Jacoby. So that was another thing then. I wasn't pregnant. I'm sorry. I just had her. This was in November, and I just had her in January. So, you know, you have to adjust to a new baby and all of that, the attention not being on you. And his dad deployed in September of that year. So that was the major things. New house, new school, new baby, and my dad is deployed. So that was a lot on a kid, and it upset me that his school was willing to uproot him like that, knowing that all these changes were going on. I thought that was pretty crappy, but it is what it is. So all things happen for a reason and how they're supposed to, though. So nonetheless, he was getting in trouble there. Okay, that was in November. In January of that year, for my daughter's first birthday, we went on a cruise, and they had a kids camp, and I took my son there. And when I went to pick him up, he probably was there just an hour or two. And when I went to pick him up, the camp lady was like, you know, we kind of had an issue with him. We were going over the rules about keeping your hands to yourself, and he was like, well, what am I, if somebody hit me, I'm hitting them back because I know karate. Not a big deal, but to me that was earth shattering. Like, when I look back on it in hindsight, that's nothing. He was just talking. But at that moment, y'all, I literally had a whole breakdown on the cruise ship in the bathroom. Like, what the fuck? I'm gonna try not to cuss. I'm sorry. Like, what am I gonna do with this kid? We're on vacation and you can't behave on vacation. We're in the Bahamas and you're getting into trouble. Like, it was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I honestly wanted to leave him on the cruise ship and just come home without a kid, because that's how frustrated I was with the situation. Like, I was at my breaking point. What more can I do? I didn't know what else to do. So I made up in my mind that when we got back home, I was going to the doctor to get him tested because it has to be something wrong. It cannot be me, and it cannot be that he's just that disrespectful ain't the right word, but something got to be wrong. I don't know, but something was wrong. So we go to the doctor. I explained to him what was going on. He said that it sounds like ADHD. He gave me a form to fill out. He gave the school a form to fill out. We did that. We had another appointment come back, and he was like, you and the school have the same score. So he definitely does have ADHD, and you and the school are seeing the same exact issues. So that was a good thing. It wasn't like he was acting one way, one place, and then acting completely different somewhere else. He was being himself, and that was the result. The difference was at home, like I said, I can reprimand you. I can do whatever it is that I need to do to get you to do what I want. And at school, they don't have that ability. You know, they can only use their words and go to the principal's office, or I'm going to write you up, or I'm going to call you out. Like, that ain't the same. So we decided to start him on medication. Again, this was hard for me to do. It was hard for me to accept that something was wrong with my child. And not to say that being ADHD makes you is a deformity or anything like that, but just in order to be productive, not even productive, in order for him not to be a distraction at school, he needed to be medicated. And it made me feel like I did something wrong during my pregnancy. What did I eat? What was my diet wrong? Did I drink something I shouldn't have drank? Like, what did I do to cause my child to be ADHD? That's what was going through my mind. And then once he started the medicine and his teachers did not have an issue with him anymore, I wasn't getting the phone calls. I forget the little app that he used, but they would like give you a negative mark and a green mark if you did good. All of those were coming back all green. He would have maybe 2 bad marks a week, which that's okay. Nobody's perfect. So, I'm sorry, I rocked the table. Yeah. After seeing that though, that's when it dawned on me. Oh, another thing too, just popped up in my mind. I also was very concerned how others would view me and view my child if they knew he was ADHD. My mom and my grandparents were all against the medicine. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that boy. You just need to do this. You need to do that. Take that away. Do this. Do that. Everybody had an opinion on what should be done, but you have to do what's best for you as the parent, because that is your child. They live with you, and you are the one getting the phone calls, getting, it's all about you and your child. You cannot let other people influence your decision on what's best for you. Another side note to that is everybody is quick to say all doctors want to die. That it's a money thing, and they always diagnosing boys with being ADHD. okay. At first I used to run with that because that's just what my elders would say, and I'm like, they know what they talking about. That's right. It's not. To me, that's just like you being diabetic. If you're diabetic, nobody around you is going to be like, that's just a money scheme. Don't worry about that. Don't take that insulin. Nobody around you is going to say that. They're going to be supportive and help you. Like, nah, is your sugar low? Did you test today? That's what they're going to do, because being diabetic is a serious illness. To me, that's the same thing with being ADHD. The way the doctor described it to me, it was just such a relief. Everything that I was feeling, he told me I'm feeling that way because he's ADHD. It was like I felt so disrespected by my child, because we would have so many conversations and he would swear all up and down and he would do good and he would be better, and then he would go to school and still get in trouble, and I could not understand that. And the doctor told me, like, it's not him trying to be rebellious. It's not him intentionally being disrespectful. It's that his brain moves quicker than whatever is in there to tell him about the consequence. I don't know how to describe or the word that I'm trying to say for that, but his brain just moves like this, like speed, and whatever it is that slows your brain down to help you think through, his brain doesn't do that. It's just on go. It's like, squirrel, squirrel. You know what I'm talking about? Like, just, you don't see nothing else. You don't know nothing else. Like, you see the ball roll across the street. Your brain just says, go get the ball. Not stop. Wait. Look both ways. It's a car coming. Is somebody over there that can just throw me the ball back? His brain, it's just go. It's always on a go. So when he broke that down to me, y'all, it was a sigh of relief. I was happy to know that it wasn't me failing as a parent, and it wasn't that my child was just so rude and ghetto and uncontrollable. It was literally that his brain doesn't do what everyone else's brain does as quickly as everyone else's brain does it. I hope that made sense. So, okay, so he started him on the medicine. His dad is still deployed. His dad came home for a weekend. When Jameer went back to school, it was all trouble again. And I'm like, what? We started him off on the lowest dosage possible. So I go back to the doctor, and he was like, that's normal. Sometimes when your body is on a medicine and then it gets used to it, the behavior and stuff declines again, because the medicine is basically your body got used to it. It's not working anymore, and that's normal. We moved him up to the next dosage, and then during that school year, my mom passed, so I knew that was going to be really hard on my son, because she was here to help me with my kids while my husband was deployed. So basically that was like his second mom. She was always here. And I got him into counseling that summer. She passed away March 30th. I think school was out in May. I got him into counseling. He really enjoyed that. So far, it'll be a year on March 30th, 2020, that I've lost my mom. And so far, though, my son hasn't had a breakdown or an outburst or just a different fluctuation in behavior or anything. Nothing like that has happened. I really believe my mom is just his guardian angel, watching over him and giving him peace and comfort, because she comes to me a lot when I get down and sad. I swear, it's like I will be weeping, and all of a sudden it'll feel like a blanket is over me, and that feeling of worry and hurt, and it just goes away. It literally just melts away, and I get a very good sense of calm, and I'm thankful for those moments. But back to the topic at hand. So we did counseling, and then I decided to put him in a new school. And it's crazy because at our old complex, this school that he's at now was right across the street from the old apartment complex that I used to live in. And when he was in kindergarten, I tried to get him over there. It's a private school, so you have to pay. I tried to get him over there, and they didn't have any openings. And then, they might have called me back for first grade, and I wasn't interested because I already had him enrolled in the other school. And then second grade is when I got him tested. You have to test in over there. So I got him tested. He passed. And she told me he could start that year. But my money wasn't how I wanted my money to be, especially with my husband being gone. So I said, no, we'll just start in third grade. So thankfully all that happened in that way, though, because had he had a went in first or kindergarten, they probably would have kicked him out and not been able to deal with his behavior and stuff because he was ADHD and I just was unaware. And I don't believe teachers are allowed to tell a parent, like, I think your child is ADHD, because they're not doctors. Because I feel like, though, his school should have did more to help me help him. We all want the same end goal. We want him to be successful in school. And all they were doing was just telling me he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing this. Well, what? Believe me when I tell y'all that I discipline this child. Like, well, what more can I do? What can you offer me? What are some suggestions that you've seen other kids act like this? Like, what do you tell their parents? Like, help me. Like, so anywho, he started at a new school, and I was hoping that everything would go smooth because that's, again, a major adjustment. We moved him up a dosage, and I don't think nothing major was happening. Just the dosage he was on was wearing off, so they wanted to increase it. So now he's on 30 mg, I think. I mean, I know it's 30, but I think the abbreviation is mg. I think, anyway, he's on 30, and at school they give him a 5 mg at lunch to help it keep going throughout the day, because his teacher noticed that after lunch, his focus and stuff was changing. But when I tell y'all, putting my child on medicine was the best decision I've ever made in my life. And putting him in a different school, when the school that he is at is a Christian academy, which I enjoy because we are Christian faith, and it's a very small class size. Jameer's in a class with 12 kids. He's the only African American. I don't like that because I want him to get culture, but we cultured at home, so he alright. But I just don't want him to be the oddball. I don't like that. I hate being in meetings and I'm the only black person. Like, that is so annoying. Like, dad, y'all don't got no other diversity. Like, it's just, I don't like the feeling. And I don't want him to feel uncomfortable or less than or none of that because you're different. Because you are amazing, son. When you watch this video, I want you to know you are amazing. Okay? What else happened? Okay, so that's the dosage that he's on. Oh, best decision I ever made in my life, because my baby is an honor roll student. Do you hear me? My son gets all A's. A+. I ain't got his report card, but I'm going to insert it. He had a B+, was the lowest grade he had on his last report card, and that's because he's writing cursive. This year is his first year writing cursive. I don't know where everybody live at, but in the state of Cincinnati and Kentucky, they don't teach these kids cursive no more. So at this private school, he learns it. And the other kids, though, have been going there for years, so they know how to write in cursive, and he didn't. So when he first started, he had a real low grade, I think like a C or a D. And I didn't punish him for that or anything, because this you learn it. It takes a little while to get it. And now his teacher told me that he has better penmanship than kids that she has been teaching for previous years. So that makes me feel good. Jameer is, like I said, a very, very bright young man. I mean, you show him something one time and he got it. He is an overall good kid, and he has a very, very good heart. He's a sweet kid. So it also bothered me that people couldn't see his potential. People couldn't get to know him and enjoy him because he was always doing something, talking, being distracted, and I get it. So that's that. Anywho, I made this video just to let people know, do whatever is best for you and your family. Do not let outside influences determine how you move forward with parenting your kid. You always do what's best for you. Whatever's going to give you peace of mind and be best for your child, that's what you do. These other folks, because all kids are different. Let me say that. All kids are different. No kid is alike. Everybody has different learning styles, different habits, different ways that they pick up on things. And I know it's hard for teachers to try to teach in a way that gets everybody. Some people really just require one-on-one attention. And that's why I wanted him in a smaller class size. I wanted somebody to be able to focus on him, like, okay, this is how he learned. So I'm going to do it like this for the class, but then I'm going to circle back and, show him. That's what I need. I need somebody who cares about my child individually. That's what I like. Somebody who cares about my kid. And I feel like at public schools, them teachers be so underpaid and so overwhelmed, and just, I can only imagine my kids work my nerve where I want to go hide and cry in a corner like I don't want a parent, I don't want an adult, I don't want to do anything. I don't want nobody talking to me. I can only imagine you having to do that for kids you don't even love, let alone like. So I understand. It was just a difficult transition, but I look forward to watching my child grow and getting over our stumbling blocks together, because we all go through life together and we all have challenges, and I'm here for them. Bring them on, because I'm one tough cookie. That's the end of the video, y'all. Okay? See you.